I went there then, and then I went to Cleveland, or went back to Ohio in
1965, you went back for a summer. You
see,
took wife
I had
with you.
an arrangement with Farrell when I first went out. I think we talked about that yesterday, and so I had a commission from Farrell to look into setting up a joint venture or a licensing arrangement with a company that Mr. Takasaki wanted to have organized around new idea in the, well, he didn't know about Frit, but when he found out about Frit, he wanted to do that. Wanted to have a factory that made Frit for Farrell, using the Farrell name and license. And at that time, Farrell was already doing some exporting in Southeast Asia from Europe, Farrell Holland or Farrell England. And so, let's see, I guess I went down to Hong Kong. Well, I went down after I had visited Farrell in the States, which would have been 51. And I was there several months. And oh yes, as I mentioned the other day, I asked them for an engineer to help me with the sales in Southeast Asia because I was getting some business there and some commission from it, just as an adjunct of the negotiations in Japan for the factory in Japan. And so they told me that instead of helping me find an engineer, they would provide an engineer, but they wanted to open their own branch in Hong Kong. And I could be the manager of that branch, help open it up for them, and still keep my business in Japan. And Pacific Projects Limited in Hong Kong. So they sort of recognized the possibility of compartmentalization in the mind of a person who was an entrepreneur, could do various things without necessarily having a conflict of interest. So I ended up with being manager. I started their company in Hong Kong, was managing director of it. I got a manager for it. I had my own Pacific Projects Limited Hong Kong, which was a separate Hong Kong company. And then in Tokyo, I had Taihei Boiki and Pacific Projects, and was the director of the new Nippon Ferro, which was a joint venture between
Takasaki.
Toyo Seikan, well, Takasaki, but his company, Toyo Seikan, and Ferro, with Ferro being only a 10% shareholder.
Now, how would these things work? They would say, give you a budget for, Ferro would give you a budget for starting this, or they, on trust, they would say?
Well, the first year was just, I think, a lump sum to get registered, and then they would remit whatever I might need from month to month. And then from the first year, the second year, and on, I had to prepare a budget and sales forecast and that sort of thing. And by and large, we made our expenses in Hong Kong without further remittances from Cleveland. We got enough from commissions to pay the expenses. And then any sort of net profit from the branch operation belonged to Faro, but they basically got their money from manufacturing the goods. And the Hong Kong office got a commission. And we worked for not just Faro in Cleveland, but for Faro Holland, Faro England, and so on.